it will be a great opportunity for our Taiwanese, organization, to be presenting, this special event, which is going to be happen at Caltech on October 18 and 19. Okay, so they have raised substantial amount of money. The total budget, I think, Michael, will get into detail, later. And so during this past months, I have opportunity to communicate with Michael, and I think he's a great, very cultural sensitive, person. For example, before he just a few minutes ago, he said, "Well, I'm going to be talking to a Taiwanese crowd, and if I want to greet them, what is the proper Taiwanese phrase to say?" And I will test his ability to see if he can remember my Taiwanese lesson. Okay, so with that, let's welcome. 贾霸伟. That's close enough. 贾霸伟.
Did I do it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you pass.
I had to write it to remind myself and put the accent. I'm sorry that I don't speak more. I do know how to say no onions. Liaison? Is that close?
Liaison, yeah.
Because I'm allergic to onions. So that's
Onions, yeah.
And I eat lots of restaurants, but I have to be careful what I eat. My name is Michael Alexander, and just to let you know, while you were talking, I did a quick research on Google, and Gutenberg goes back to about the 1650s. So it's about 1450s or so. So it's about 675 years ago or so, something like 575, something, quite a while ago. But it was fascinating for me to just start thinking about the technology that is hidden in so much of the art. We see the art product, but we don't sometimes understand the technology and the creativity that was used to design the pen, to create paper. I thank you very much for that. It was really a reminder and an education for me as well. I've only been at Caltech for a little over 5 years. I was working in a nonprofit organization in downtown Los Angeles that actually brought in the puppets. And this is a picture of one of the puppets that I got to get from the puppet company from Taiwan, from Taipei, when we brought them to Los Angeles. And what I really love about it is that with my finger, I can make the mouth and the eyes scrunch. For somebody who's loved puppets, to see that kind of manipulation in the face was really exciting to me. So I was working downtown. I retired. I'm probably older than some of you, and this year I will turn 77. But Caltech came to me 5.5 years ago and said, "We have a problem. Can you help us?" And I'm very happy to be there now, working to help bring back the performing arts that Caltech was very well known for. And helping us is that there's going to be a very big festival taking place from San Diego to Ventura, being sponsored by the Getty Foundation. And they are working with 60 different cultural organizations and educational organizations in those many counties to bring art to the public in a celebration, this time called PST Art and Science Collide. And we got a chance to apply for a grant in the performing arts. If you know the Getty, you know that their main focus is on the visual arts, but they did put aside a small amount of money to support the performing arts programs, and we will make up a small portion of what you are going to be hearing about. Once summer comes, there will be lots and lots of news about the many different events. There will be exhibitions at the many museums. There will be things at various colleges, mostly in the visual arts, but we will be doing some things in the performing arts at Caltech. And I get the impression that we are doing maybe something that is quite exceptional, which is that we're bringing in artists from outside the United States. And the only artists that we are bringing in are coming to us from Taiwan. I go to conferences every year, and I was introduced to Huang and Kuka as a company coming from Taiwan that works with a robot, the Kuka robot that they talked about. And so we are presenting them in concert as a start of a North American tour. They have been to the United States before, but this is the very first time that they will ever have performed in Southern California. Spaghetti is generous, but they're not generous enough. They are helping us start the project, but we need to raise a lot of other monies. Fortunately, we're getting some support, we believe, from a few other foundations, and we're trying to keep our ticket prices very reasonable. So the general tickets in the premium section will be $60, in the general section will be $40, and we're going to give students tickets for $10. Because my goal is not just to bring this to the Los Angeles Taiwanese community, but to bring it to all of the communities of Los Angeles. I have been to Taiwan, it's been now 20 years, but TECO brought me to Taiwan a number of years ago for a discovery experience, to learn about the art. And I have to congratulate the country that is the root for most of you here in this room. The creativity that I saw when I was there blew my mind. The dance companies that I got to see are doing really imaginative, substantial work that is challenging by any international standards. It is up to the best of artistic quality and really beautiful and wonderful work. And so to have this opportunity to share the creativity of Taiwan with the broader Los Angeles community, for me, is an exciting opportunity, because I think that one of the excitements about where the arts fit in and where my career has allowed me to fit into Los Angeles has been to bring audiences from many different communities together and to learn about each other through the arts. And so this is going to be an opportunity for us. They will come here because it's their first stop. They're going to come in on a Monday. We're going to give them at least part of Tuesday to get acclimated to the time zone change. And by Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday night, we'll start planning a couple of receptions, and I would like to work closely with you here to see if we can do something either on campus or in some other community center so that we can give a chance for people from the community to meet these artists even before they settle in on campus. By Thursday, they will be on the campus rehearsing, getting everything prepared in the theater, and then we have the performances on Friday night and Saturday night, and then they take off on Sunday for the rest of their national tour. I believe that one of the stops is going to be either, I can't remember from their agent, I've heard it and I've forgotten it. I can blame that on being 76 years old. That it's either Lincoln Center or Kennedy Center that they're going to be as part of this North American tour. But the program is going to focus on, it's about a 1-hour dance piece, and then the director will be available to talk with the audience about the technology, how to program the robot. And maybe we can start, I don't think that the sound is that loud that I can't talk over it. Let's see what we've got here.
Volume 23, 24, 25.
So you can just see the robot is this big industrial robot that is used in assembly lines where they're manufacturing automobiles. And he replaced a welding unit with a laser. And the laser light is moving around the stage, and Huang, and we're seeing solos, but Huang will be on stage with a total of 4 other dancers to perform the work there. And it took him somewhere between 10 and 20 hours to program each minute of the arms movement. And so he's going to talk to us afterwards about the technology. He's going to talk to us about the thoughts of what is he looking to do and how is he using his creativity in this project. So we're working now to get a website going and to get all of the information out because there's going to be so many things happening. I want to make sure that people in the Los Angeles area know about these programs at Caltech so that they think about buying their tickets, getting their tickets early, and don't all of a sudden go, darn, I should have bought those tickets, but I already have tickets for some other event, because there's going to be so many different things happening in the LA area. And I have to say, I'm so grateful to the Ministry of Culture as part of the Taiwan government. It is providing support to bring the artists here. They're covering the air flight. They're covering the shipping, because it's not easy to bring a heavy robot all the way from Taiwan. And I contacted the agent immediately after that rather strong and terrible earthquake, and to make sure that everything was okay, and the company was in France. So the robot was in France. So I was sad for what happened in the island, but I was at least relieved that the robot was not damaged in any way during that earthquake recently. And the government is also covering the visas. And it's one thing to bring in a superstar baseball player for the Dodgers and have to get his visa, because that's cheap compared to how much money they're spending on him. But when you're bringing in a bunch of artists, the cost of visas is proportionally a very big expense, and the government of Taiwan is covering the cost of those visas. So I'm very, very grateful for all of that support there that they have been giving us, and I'm also grateful for the support and the advice that has been coming from the members of the Taiwan United Fund, advice about which newspapers, because we want to advertise, and again, the Taiwan government has offered to help us translate into the Chinese script so that we can advertise in the appropriate newspapers, and I'm getting good advice about which papers to buy some advertising space in and to communicate with, as we also then are going to be working on the general audience as well. You get a sense, this is Beckman Auditorium, the centerpiece on the campus. It is a 1,150 seat auditorium, and it is not the biggest of stages. It's a it was meant to be a lecture facility, but we have brought in all kinds of performances, including dance companies with 30, 40 dancers in them at times. So we'll make this certainly fit. But you can get it's a sense, there's that laser light, and the dancer is interacting with it in these short clips. I don't know what other things might be important to say other than that I'm very appreciative of the willingness of the fund to support us and to ask you also for guidance and support. We're going to be working out benefits for everybody so that there will be opportunities to meet. There will be the logo of the TUF in the brochure that is going out to about 20,000 people. We're just finishing the design work on the... A whole bunch of us still have our phones set up with the old style of sound. That's mine too, so I reacted. That's why my pocket immediately. I thought I turned mine off.
Wake up everyone.
That's right. So we will also be working with you on trying to make sure that there's special benefits, so we can bring, I'm looking around and I figure that some of you also have grandchildren, and if you want to bring any student, it doesn't have to be a Caltech student, all students will be able to get $10 tickets to come to the performances as well. So if there's questions, I'd be very, very happy to field them, and to again, just tell you that I'm honored about the kind of response that I have felt from your community. So thank you so much for that opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. any question or comment, for Michael or for John, Okay. Any question? Okay, yeah, Ted. Yeah, Ted was our former TUF president as well.
One question. How many performances are going to have in Los Angeles?
There will just be the two. They're on Friday night, the 18th, and Saturday night, the 19th.
So midweek, right?
Pardon? And they're both at Caltech, and then they are going off on the rest of their national tour. So that's it. I do have some information that I will leave up here. This is talking about sponsorship opportunities. So if people want to even talk to some of the companies that might have interest. We're still looking to raise probably close to $25,000 to $30,000 that we need to raise to help meet all of the budgetary needs that we have. I'm counting on selling close to 65–70% of the house. That's, in our business, we always sit there and go, where is the break-even point? And so I hope that we will get close to 2/3 to 3/4 of the house filled, and that will give me ability to walk with my head held high on campus. Otherwise, somebody's going to be yelling at me about misspending Caltech money.
There's a question over there.
Yeah.
What to expect in the show? Lots of
Well, there'll be the robot is projecting the laser light, and then the modern dancers and the music will be all interacting, so it'll be a visual combination of a technological element, and then modern dance in the style of what has now become an international vocabulary of dance movements. It's not ballet, it's not traditional and folk dance, it's a contemporary kind of dance vocabulary that is individualized as the different choreographers, and Wang Yi is a award-winning, very honored Taiwan-based choreographer. And so his work will be a reflection of his vision, and having himself and 4 other dancers presenting that vision to us.
Does the robot also dance?
Only its arm. It's planted on the ground. It's a little bit heavy. It's about I've been told it's about a 600, 700 pound robot. So we're already trying to figure out where are the strongest people on campus to help us carry it into the facility.
Another robot. Find another robot.
I know, but they're very hard to come. They argue all the time. AI, and you've got these new problems with AI robots.
They don't usually get along. You're right.
No, they don't. They're not friendly.
Okay, Aki, please.
Hi.
Hi.
So you're doing the Caltech, you bought this, and later on, do you have a plan to scale down that programming for Caltech students to study with? Maybe generate like a pattern or a form or lecture, and are you going to also share that to the local, not just the Caltech, like engineering or art students?
Well, the talk that will follow the performance will be talking a lot about the technology, and so anybody who comes into the audience will be able to hear that. Our intention is to promote this, and I've got to say that there's been quite a bit of excitement as I look at some of the preliminary information coming from the Getty. They're very proud, one, that they're associated with Caltech, because this series is Art and Science Collide. And who is the best partner on the science side in the greater Los Angeles area? Maybe I'm biased, but I think Caltech is the best partner. So they're very excited about their association with us and are helping with a lot of promotion as well. So I hope that people who are engineers, people who are interested in AI, people who are interested in robots are going to consider that this would be a performance that they would want to come to. And then they'll have a chance to not just hear Wang Yi talk about it, but we would want the audience to engage in a conversation that is public, so that the audience, other members of the audience, hear about it. I'm also hoping that we can work with the Los Angeles dance community and create a separate master class so that dancers from the company can share how they do their work with the very large dance community that we have here in Los Angeles. When I say dance community, I'm talking about the professional companies that often function below the radar of many of us. But if people become aware through the Music Center's dance series or through the dance series at Cal State Northridge or Cal State Los Angeles or down in this area, Cal State Long Beach has had a very interesting series as well. So people are following dance and are learning about the dance companies that are developing wherever the choreographers settle themselves and start recruiting fellow dancers to work with them. So dance has the greatest struggle. I used to manage a dance company, met my first wife in this dance company and have watched how hard it is in Los Angeles to support professional dance. It's not easy to support professional theater and music, but dance has got the hardest of the performing arts to sustain itself. But we'll work with the dance community. I'll see, and I'm looking to spend time over the next 3 or 4 months to identify which professors on campus might take an interest in what this particular program is about and see how do we connect them to Wen Yi so that there could be something happening where there's just a technological, intellectual kind of exchange going, because we want this to have value added and not just be a performance and then everything's gone. We'd like it to leave a footprint for the community and for our campus as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, now sorry, but David.
I have one more question about the funding support. Are you looking for ticket sales or are you looking for donations? And I have another question for TUF. Does TUF provide matching fund for the donation, if that's the case?
Well, I'm looking for both, because in a sense, when you're offering tickets to students for $10, that means that I'm taking a $60 seat and dropping $50 off the value of that. So when we get donations, it makes it that much easier for us to expand the number of student tickets that we can easily offer and go to the various other campuses around Los Angeles where there are dance students, where there are other young, curious students who want to learn about things, but there's a limit in their budget of how much they can spend. So the donations help us have the assurance that we can put into our instructions to our box office. You now can go from 100 student tickets to 200 student tickets.
Okay. So, okay. Can I answer the question about TUF?
Yeah, that would be much better than me.
I think TUF has already committed to donate $5,000 out of our annual budget already. But in addition to that, TUF and Michael, Caltech is doing fundraising program together, such as today's, or the one we had, in April, and as well as the one that we are going to have on March 11th, May 11th, and hopefully we may have another one, in summer. And the money we raise, will be equally split between Caltech and the TUF. The TUF will use that money to support this project. Okay, this project. Okay, this project is called My Story, Our Art. Okay, I just mentioned earlier. So it will be a great opportunity, to work with, Caltech, to do the fundraising efforts. And there is a charity organization. It's called Dai Culture Mission Fund. Will match, the donation. And all the money will go to TUF first, and then TUF will, whatever the amount raised, will be 50% will go to Cal State. And our goal is to raise $10,000 $2,000. And for with that, am I answering your question?
So where do we donate the money to get the matching fund?
Just write to TUF.
So is
Yeah.
so let's say we have $1,000 to TUF.
Yes.
TUF is going to divide this $1,000 between Caltech and TUF.
And that's correct.
And is there any additional matching fund?
Yeah, no, the mission one is the money collected today, okay, the Thai mission fund, you know, will automatically match the money that we have. And then we'll write a check to TUF. Okay.
So if we, let's say we donate $1,000.
Yes,
it is
that will
going-
become $2,000.
You'll get a matching fund for
That will go
another
there.
$1,000.
Yes,
And
yes.
this $2,000 will be divided between Caltech and TUF.
Yes,
Is
yes.
that correct?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Because
and for
half of
TUF's sake, Caltech is a nonprofit organization also, so it's a legitimate
Yeah.
Contribution for tax purposes.
Yeah, and the reason is, the reason why, you know, the money should donate to TUF first is during the past, you know, 3 years, you know, TUF have no event. So we have no incoming, you know, we don't sell the tickets. So we run into problem with IRS. You know, most of the income is coming from interest income instead of, you know, donations. So you have to raise enough money, you know, to satisfy, you know, IRS requirements.
So let's say we donate, someone donate $1,000.
Yeah.
We are going to have a matching fund for another $1,000.
Yes.
And
yes.
TUF is going to match another $5,000. So
No, that $5,000 has already been donated. That's in addition to that. Okay.
yeah. So basically, from TUF perspective, it is going to be $6,000 to Caltech, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay. Now let me repeat again. Okay. For that $5,000 has been approved by the board member. Okay. And we are in the process of cutting a check to Caltech. But in addition of that, we don't know what the exact amount. Okay. We are doing the fundraising together, you know, such as today, and all the money received. For example, we received $6,000. Okay. The Thai mission fund will match another $6,000. Okay. And then we'll write a check of $12,000 to TUF. Okay. And then TUF will write a check, $6,000 check to Caltech. Okay. So, and our goal, you know, is to raise $10,000.
So
I know you have a big amount what to donate. That's why you ask questions. Okay, so you can ask, you know, take your time, you know, ask whatever.
I know it's challenging to get financial resources for non-profit events. So I just like to know how those financial resources are
Of
going
course,
to be
of course.
supporting TUF and Caltech.
Yeah. Yeah, Ted has been, you know, our former president. So I think he asked that question on purpose so that to encourage, you know, people, you know, to participate in our fundraising event. Okay, any other questions? Okay, 我本来问伊一个问题啦，吼，你大概想看嘛？因为讲伊本地伊是跳，伊少年时伊是跳舞的嘛，吼，但是跳芭蕾舞还是跳现代舞，我是无甲知影啦，吼，我是要甲伊问讲，吼，用伊一个跳舞的人的眼光啦，吼，迄个物件吼，啊，伊嘛看过即个翻译即个Kuka的迄个舞嘛，吼，啊，我要问讲，看气味有啥物无共款啦？迄艺术家但是。是啥物款？还是讲是咧讲技术这方面啦，吼。Okay, I want to ask you a question now. I understand that you know you are dancer, you know, at a young age.
A young age,
Okay,
yes.
a young age. Okay, first of all, what kind of dance you do, and then, okay, you know, as a dancer, you know, how you see Huang and the Kuka's, you know, choreographer. Like, what kind of flavor, you know, we expect? And would the Huang also sing in the stage? You know, what kind of music, you know, he will present?
Well, my introduction to dance was in a folkloric dance company that was basically doing repertoire from Eastern Europe and Central Asia. And so we were almost like an anthropological kind of a group in finding these interesting communities' dances and then adapting them for the stage so that audiences would be interested in watching them. Because when you're doing dances in a social setting in any country, they're a lot of fun to dance, but after an hour of watching that dance, it doesn't change much and people would get bored. So our artists had to find ways to set those dances. We had a close association with the UCLA Institute of Ethnomusicology, so that we were producing the music with live musicians on stage on the right instruments. So it was an opportunity to create a very interesting, and by doing it from many different countries, it had enough variety and enough different flavors that it worked for audiences very well, and the company ultimately toured all over the United States. But I have had opportunities myself to work with other dance companies. I was the company manager of San Francisco Ballet. I've worked with some other dance companies, and I think the thing that has fascinated me about the dance is to see, one, the variety of different approaches that artists in our field called choreographers take to create interesting work for the stage. And to realize that the dancers have to become very, very specifically familiar with a style that is part of that company. If you're asking musicians to just learn how to play you have the pipa they're learning how to play the pipa in the Taiwan style. They can't play it necessarily in another region's style. These dancers are learning a vocabulary with an accent. It doesn't sound, they're dancing the San Francisco ballet accent and not the New York City ballet accent. And so for me, the marvelous thing is how many dancers, one, become devoted to a particular choreographer and are loyal and are embracing that choreographer's dance approach and style and vocabulary, and how the difference in how much time they have to spend working to become part of a team and to work in a cohesive kind of way. What those of us who are on the arts side, I'm sure you're all hearing in education, there's the push for STEM. They want more science, technology, engineering, and math. Well, the artists want it to become STEAM. Science, technology, electronics, arts, and math. And I keep telling people, if you take those letters in STEAM and rearrange them, you've got the word teams and the word mates. And the arts teach people, the collaborative arts teach people to be good teammates. And science succeeds when a group of engineers, a group of scientists are teammates with each other. So I'm always impressed about how artists in the collaborative world have to work with each other. And we've also seen the crazy ones, who yell at their dancers and whatever. And somehow or the other, some of the dancers go back for more, and some of them walk on and find somebody else who's less crazy to dance with. So I've enjoyed my association with dance for a long, long time.
Oh, that's great. Now, as a matter of fact, we had another, ABT event, years ago, and then we have a fellow from Harvard, MBA program, and his undergraduate degrees BFA from Rhode Island. And he made a very interesting comment. He said, our education, prepares entrepreneurs. Okay, and the reason is, okay, that is another subject. So I don't want to get it. Maybe we will talk about it in the May 11th. But I would like to come back, to your what you just said. You said you have some sort of relationship with UCLA Dance Department?
I did back in, this was in the 70s.
And it's called what kind of program?
Well, today,
Is it anthropology?
well, at the music school at UCLA, there was the Institute of Ethnomusicology.
Okay.
So it is specifically, and it's a bit prejudicial in a certain way because it's looking at non-Western music,
Yeah.
some of which is classical music, and some of it is folkloric music. And it's obviously taking a Western approach that if it's a bunch of violins and, you know, like we see in the
Okay. So do
Winnow
you,
orchestra, that's not in ethnomusicology.
do you happen to know Revenue Either Law? He studied ethno music at UCLA.
Maybe after my time. Yeah.
伊是讲，伊是读迄个民族迄个舞蹈啦吼。其实即摆咧用的圣诗吼是啥人编的？是杜威的牧师编的啦。啊，即个圣诗的一个伊是个这杜威的牧师，原来是读 UCLA 迄个民族音乐。所以咱即摆的圣诗是变做全世界咧内面吼，咱上即个多元啊，因为过去的圣诗咱拢干那，咱的头壳内面拢干那音欧洲音乐啦。 啊，其实这个普世音乐，这样较大上帝福音是要互全世界的人，所以较会当家用欧洲的音乐，所以是捡足侪东方啦、印度啦、印尼啦，迄个中南美的音乐入来。所以我即摆要利用这个机会，甲伊讲，甲伊迄个要安讲，要甲伊打一个啦。我咱台湾人无即种遮尔啊有水准的即个，吼，尤其咱台湾教会吼。 啊，尤其是这个杜威德牧师，佮是普世的这个敬拜中心，伊是做 music 的迄个 director。Okay, the reason I ask you is about do you know revenue doctor Ito Law? Okay. Actually, he got a degree, PhD degree from UCLA about ethno music.
Yeah.
And he happened to be the editor, for the Taiwanese hymn that we are using now. And the hymn book, the old hymn book, is all based on European, missionary, music.
Right.
And it's kind of, it's not the traditional, Taiwanese music,
Right.
or even, some other cultures' music. So right now, the hymn book we have. The Taiwanese hymn book we have is the most diverse hymn book in the world. Right now, we reduce the European music to 50%, and 25% is from Taiwanese creator or writer, songwriter, composer, yeah. And the other 25% is from the third world. So
That's very impressive.
yeah, very.
Congratulations.
安尼，佫有啥问题？若无吼，我要来，佫有啥问题？我来问Cheng一寡问题啊。Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
啊来，佫有啥物问题无吼？我们佫有差不多，咱佫5分钟的时间啦吼，讲到4啊，咱佫有5分钟的时间。啊，我一般用一摆时间，有这样坐遮久吼，会使互伊坐呢很板凳啦吼。我要问100度啦。 啊，100迄个信马店100度啦吼。啊，我看着100度吼，我拢小可感觉异常啦。吼，啊，是安怎才会到位过一档？吼，感觉孤单啦。吼，孤单。啊，其实吼，100互我感觉到，即个现代少年人吼。 已经无啥咧去教育，因为咱来看讲这20年来吼，咱的闽南小学迄个人数吼，拢一直减少去，吼，所以100度拢奇怪，而且较会信礼典应该是一个牧师啦，吼，咧洗礼的，吼，咧领圣餐的时阵，咧领圣餐的时阵应该是吼，有牧师伫遐咧互领圣餐啦，吼，啊，牧师伊个是。Okay, the reason I just translate it to you. Okay, when I saw this painting, I kind of feel sad, you know, because, you know, where is the church? You know, where is the pastor? Okay, and it reminds me of, you know, nowadays the mainland church membership has been in decline, you know, during the past, you know, decades. And I would ask John, you know, what is the motive, you know, of this painting? And you know, when he painted this, you know, what is thinking? Maybe he is thinking about completely different from my interpretation. Okay. Okay. So can you kind of elaborate, you know, a little bit about what I just said, you know, regarding where is the church and the declining of you know, mainland church membership?
Right. I mean, I think you have an interesting observation about, well, where are the young people in church? And I think it is correct that there are less and less younger generations that are in the church. And so, I mean, I think I think by and large is mainly because of just how cultural norms have taken over. And so there's a conflict between, you know, what the younger generation might believe versus what the church preaches. And so there's a definite disconnect between faith and current culture. But I would also argue that it's by and large also from a lack of education, right? Because the church actually does a very poor job in educating what the contents of the Bible are, and what faith actually is. So there's this very, you have a large group of younger generations just, you know, either they might be actually believing, however, they don't believe in a corporate church. They don't believe in the church organization itself. So they're more likely to just kind of follow teachings on their own and be on their own path, and searching for something. Right? So I think that's why there's binoculars in there as well. Just the searching for truth, searching for something that's greater and something that is to come. Right? I guess does that answer your question? Okay.
基本上伊就是咧讲，对啦，我咧讲的是讲，差不多是嘛是安尼讲的咯。大部分就是讲咱教会的即个教育，就是讲的文化吼，即较少年文化脱节，所以即摆较少年要入来的时阵，就变做讲，伊感觉无一种sense of belonging。OK。若是讲你即摆恁的教会，你即摆你去的迄个。恁即间去当迄种教会，迄种情形是啥物款？
阮去的即种教会，就是捌互因站的教会伤着的教会。所以大部分阮的人就是，you know, by and large, our members at our church is actually people who've been hurt by church. People who.
You mean church member?
Yeah, the church members at our church, by and large, are members who have been hurt by prior churches. Whether it's excessive, forcing excessive volunteering, like, oh, you're volunteering and then you're already helping, you're already volunteering, but then expecting more or getting mad at not overachieving at volunteering and so forth. Sometimes it's hurt through community, etc. So our church is primarily composed of people who have young people. I would say between the ages of 25 to the oldest, maybe being 50. So the biggest chunk is just young people who have felt wronged by the church and have left church and decided to come back. So that's the general makeup of our church, and a lot of them have varying opinions and varying. They have very different. They have varying political opinions, varying ideas and ideologies about faith, and it's a very diverse group of people, and actually, we strive to be as non-homogeneous as possible. So we want to be of all socioeconomical statures and also like diverse population. Because downtown, our church is in downtown, so we have, you know, a quarter of the population is Latino, a quarter of the population is Black, a quarter of the population is Asian, a quarter of the population is white. So we try to reflect that population as much as possible.
But right now you are renting a public space, right?
We're also renting a public space. So our public space is at in Little Tokyo. So it's at the Terasaki Budokan. So it's like a gymnasium, and we rent the outside space. And so we've rented that space since the pandemic, so we're outside. And it's interesting because if you want to bring it back to this painting, most of our members are also very transient. So we come into LA and then we leave LA.
Okay.
So our membership is always turning over and we're always leaving. We're always searching for something, the next spot to go to. So we have a lot of young people, they come to downtown LA, they work there, they start their families and then they move out. So it's constantly changing, constantly turning over.
应该当这节 short 的，
我来讲啊，跟你来补充下好。伊是讲哦，因教会足侪 member 吼，足侪是讲拢去互受伤的人去遐，足侪是讲去互伊较早的教会去互人感觉讲受伤了，较走去较走去教会。所以因教会目前因嘛无，因介大先是伫一间伫迄个阿基水遐一间叫做阿秀，是拢迄互迄个较善食的艺术家吼，会当去搭有一个所在去创作。即摆去搬去伫迄个小东京遐，所以因教会即摆大部分是讲20岁到50岁即个 range， 内面因内底有黑人、墨西哥人、亚洲人吼，逐项拢有啦。因来背景拢无共款。因教会一个特色就是讲，迄个 turning over 吼，就是讲迄个不时换来换去就对啦。足侪新人入来，足侪新人搁走出去，因为你当趟迄个所在主要是无 community 嘛，大概爱搁使种去到迄个所在聚会啦，所以就是讲无一定的会员啦，毋是讲无一定会员，就是讲。我较印象较深的就是讲，因即摆执事吼，是因有咧关心迄个 Skid Row 遐个街友啦吼，毋敢关心，佮毋是去互因食，到尾因迄个内底因关心过啦，即摆是变做因教会执事啊，所以参加因迄个 leadership， 所以是真无共款的，真无共款的情形。你敢要佮补充一下？我讲安尼差不多。差不多是安尼啦吼，所以即摆来讲，你搁继续有囡仔伫遐，是讲即个因后生阮孙吼，咱继续伫遐，但是伊到尾囡仔同伴要因对是干，迄嘛是变做一个问题啊，变做讲好你要去服务人，但是你家己的囡仔，你家己煞无囡仔伴通来做伙成长，所以嘛是咧想讲。是毋是会当即种技能会当去继续去搭，服务偌久安尼，嘛是一种问题。所以各种教会拢有各种教会的困难。Okay, we're gonna about church for an hour. You don't have to understand.
Okay, and easier question. Those binoculars, what do you paint into them and how do you do it? And what's inside the binocular?
Oh, it's just they're just reflections right now. So just really trying to create a sense of light. Like there's where he's looking at. Because usually when you're looking at glass, when you're looking at mirrors or anything that's reflective, if there's any bright material, bright light that's shining, it's going to reflect off of it, right? So the idea too is the backdrop is really dark.
Did you write any theme into it?
Any theme into it? I didn't write anything into it, but the idea behind it is looking for light. Looking for light within darkness. Right? So the entire background is very dark. We're talking about但是就是一直微气锤更微气锤 light 微气锤的 true， 所以也得 binocular
快更
就得更那 reflection。
Thank you.
Yeah. 啊，嗰啲嘢 binocular 是尖，尖嘅 binocular is gold binoculars. Yeah. So you can interpret that however you want to, but yeah, if gold is a precious metal, then the way you look forward and the way you look out and see life and see things in front of you, that matters, right? What is your perspective and how you look at things?
个人要问问题，若无吼，我要问一个问题啦吼。你正白即个吼，即摆图啦吼，你的某父迄吼，你日本迄是拍剑道的嘛吼？正面迄个是西方的，迄款迄个暗网吼，西方吼。啊，你食一个冰机的 popsicle 啊，或者还是在美国是个冰机。啊，你挂一个迄个珠啊吼，这佛珠吼，迄个算讲较不够咧挂迄佛珠吼。啊，你咧创作的时阵，你敢有想调故意安尼，还是讲下意识的中间你就感觉？
Right.
So okay, now on these pictures, you know, there are several elements. Okay, I mean the armor on the top, you know, is kind of you know, when you break candle, okay, you put on the head armor, okay, and then those usually if in the dojo, you know, it's very strict. Despite that, you know, you are sweating, you know, heavily, but you know your sensei will not, you know, allow you to take off your armor. Okay, and then the armor on the right hand side is kind of Western style. Okay, and then the popsicle, it seems like United States, you know, thing. And then the bracelet, the big bracelet, you know, is like a Buddha's. Okay, I think that some of Buddhist people, you know, will wear that kind of stuff. So I'm asking John, you know, when you are, you know, painting this painting, you know, do you have that, you know, in mind, or it just come out from your subconsciousness?
I think everything I paint starts subconsciously, but then is very intentional to remain in the image, right? So the Kendall men, right? The armor is because 我以前唔是拍剑道，我以前唔是拍剑道，所以拢爱挂迄个帽子，对吧？啊，所以你挂迄个帽子 when you wear that helmet, it's so hot. It's very hot, and you have sweat dripping down. You can't take it off. Right? It's tied very tightly to your head, and it's just very. I wanted to throw up, so I had to take it off. But the minute I took it off, oh man, you can see everybody is like, oh, it's it. You took it off. It's not supposed to. But it's very restraining, right? You can't breathe, right? And that was the whole idea behind it, right? Sometimes you restrict yourself. Sometimes you enjoy 这个物件，伊种反对家己enjoy是把较足暗的种无法度穿出去。That's very intentional to include that, right? Western armor on the right hand is very intentional as well. Right? So the idea is, you know, you protect yourself. And I'm a second generation. What she's just saying. So I was born here, so that means that there are different cultures that are coming together to make up who I am. Right? So I'm not only Taiwanese. I am an American as well. So if I go back to Taiwan, I'm not Taiwanese there. I'm not considered Taiwanese there. I'm foreigners. I'm a foreigner to them, right? I don't speak the language well. I don't know the area well. I don't know the foods. I don't know anything there. So I'm a very different person there, right? So when that happens, then for me here as an artist, I have to merge all of these different elements together. And so the popsicle is very, you know, a stateside kind of popsicle. So that's also something there, right? A lot of my upbringing has been here, so a lot of the things that I enjoy and a lot of the things that I find as entertainment is actually here from stateside. It doesn't come from anywhere else. So those are all the kind of the elements that are coming together. And then the rosaries is because I wear rosaries. I have one right here, right? So I get questions about this all the time, and it, you know, I'm a Christian, so why do I wear rosaries that look like it's from a Buddhist rosary, right? And for me, you know, identifying as a Christian person, Christianity to me is freedom, right? I am free. I'm free to do what I want to do, right? And I don't know if anybody understands that very deeply, but Christianity means that you are free. You're absolutely free. The things that I wear, the things that I eat, don't matter. It doesn't matter anymore because I have been freed in that way. And this rosary for me, I actually made this rosary. So this rosary shows up in a lot of my paintings. And there's actually 12 beads that are here. And then there's one shiny bead in the middle, one that is very specific, right? So the 12 beads are actually the 12 disciples here. And I don't think I ever told you this. But the 12 beads for me here are the 12 disciples, and the middle one, this special one for me, represents Christ. That brings everything together, right? So that's what this is. And this is, my identity is rooted in my faith. And that's why this shows up in a lot of my paintings. But,
Thank you. 오늘 시간을 가와 오늘 나 뭐는 거 하나 뭐를 파지를 보가 여기까지 했겠어.
All of these papers and a couple of my cards here. So everybody wants.
제가 위에는那三百架上来，好像搞来大概再开干那样哈，再开干的时间。所以，我这样。
Adults and my grandkids are.
that's also why I like it.
Liaison.